This is the Dope Black Dad podcast. I'm Marvin Harrison. We have a full room today. I feel very honoured and privileged that people are spending time with us. We might be getting good at this. How's everyone else doing?
Good. Could I just say I had a weekend away from the family, 3 days, and it rejuvenated me. I was out partying in Sheffield with Rodney P, another Dope Black Dad, and I was just coming at 4 in the morning, and I just felt 19
4 in the morning?
Yeah, not just one night either.
Whoa!
Did you pay for it?
What it looked like?
Physically.
Yeah, I'm getting old, man. Like my recovery time is not as good as but it was good. Just to say, Dad need to go out and shake a leg. Drink brandy and
can I just say something though? We have a female in the room and she was very judgmental when you said you were out. She get our
I'm just looking beyond the camera.
Our visual lead, Juanita, was just like, so you went away where? Is that for how long? How old's your children? Is it okay that men can go out and
sorry, I shouldn't have asked that. It's fine.
So I'll just set the tone. I feel like I was reliving my youth and I had a good time.
We missed you last week, by the way. It was kind of weird doing a podcast about you. There was no sense. There was no calm. It was just me and Darwin just wrapping each other up and getting more. That sounds wild. So today we've got in the room. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. My name is Rafael. I'm the founder of the UK Black Business Show, which is the biggest business show for black business professionals and entrepreneurs in the UK.
Amazing.
My name is Michael. I'm the ambassador of said show, and
what does that mean?
Just championing the show, like just
heavy
on Twitter, just in person. Like,
heavy.
So he sends you out to do all the work.
He's like, man made him a send out. Why does he make you a send out?
Same man shop.
Yeah, I know. You know what I mean.
I just got straight in there. Go talk about it.
My man, go shop here and buy yourself something. It's like,
you know what? It doesn't affect me. I know what.
Because you're a real man.
I was just being facetious. Go on.
That's good, man. It's all good. So just work on it all year round, and I know what the goal is. So man.
And what is the goal?
Just makes one of the biggest shows in the black community, biggest networking events. Just a place where you can meet and connect with anyone doing anything in the black community. So a lot of people need to see that, experience that. I think.
We're also here with the Bitter and Grace. They're friends of mine. We worked together at Sunday Show. If anyone remembers Sunday Show, it was run impeccably well sometimes, and mainly because of these two people.
I remember.
This is thoroughly exciting. So they've been helping me out since like 2009, 8, something.
When Sunday Show started?
Started 2007. It was originally called I Hate Raving.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to be clever, and I hosted it myself, the very first one. It was awful. It was awful. I was in like my work clothes. I was in like a sharp shoes shirt with like a jumper. There's a picture somewhere which I will never resurface.
You did some weird show, I remember.
Thanks.
Nah, it was weird. It wasn't Sunday Show, and you hosted it.
It was I Hate Raving.
And was that it? And
yeah.
I actually performed some poetry there.
I think it might have been that. You were basically the guy that did the first of pretty much all the shows that I did. It's a pretty good omen to have.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I Hate Raving was amazing. It did 3 shows, and the people hated the name.
So was that your show? Sunday Show?
Yeah.
Oh,
So like I did I Hate Raving, and we took it on, tried to take it on tour in unis, and unis like raving, so they just didn't like the idea of being told they hate raving. So yeah.
What does Marvin like to work for?
Oh shit.
I still to this day sometimes think, what would Marvin say? Like, it's ingrained in my brain. What would Marvin say if I did this? Like, you'd come in at a meeting and you'd be like, shit, what's going to happen today? Who's going to stand up and be put on the spot today? Who's going to be put on blast today?
Did Marvin put you on blast?
Every week. You'd see the look on a Sunday. On a Sunday you'd see the look, and then on Tuesday you'd know he'd be put on blast. You'd be ready, like, and I'm going to be stood up in the middle of everyone.
Marvin was a lot less refined.
No chill at all, basically. Whatever he said was what came out. So.
But he didn't shout, or did he shout?
He didn't shout, but like there were like. How do I even put it? There was no. It wasn't really shouting. there's just no expression. Like there's no expression at all. Like complete cold stare. I think that's the best way to put it. Yeah, you'd agree?
I think. Now, do you know what's funny? Is I was talking to Castillo the other day, and he was just reminding me of some of those times, and I kind of feel like, I remember talking to him, and he was just reminding me of some of the stuff. But in my head, I was trying to put the best show on ever without really the tools. So it was a lot of pressure.
It was definitely a good time. Definitely.
I appreciate you wrapping up with that part. So tell me more about this business show, Mr. Ambassador. I'm going to call you that now because that's way cooler than your actual name. What? So how did you actually come about with this? How does this start?
No, Rafael approached me. He was like, he's got an idea for a show. It's a black business show. There's nothing like it at the moment.
So I don't think we've clarified what sort of show it is.
So it's a show. It's like an exhibit for black businesses and a networking event as well. So yeah, he just came to me and just said, yeah, he's got an idea for a show. There are things like it at the moment, but nothing on the scale that we envisioned. So
Where do you hold it?
it's in Queen Elizabeth Conference Centre.
That's kind of
big.
big.
That's a big fish.
And it's,
Look at you guys. I'm looking at your watch.
I think that was what we kind of wanted to do. Like even like the reaction when you was like, "Oh, QE2." We were seeing a few little business fairs, but no one was doing it. Everyone was kind of booking out a small, maybe a hotel on the side. Not that you can't get nice hotels, but we wanted like an amazing venue where all the big business shows are being held to kind of say, yeah, look, black businesses and professionals can do it at the best as well. So as Michael mentioned, we launched it, came up with the idea. I worked on a few shows as well at some other companies, and they were using that venue as well, and it looked amazing. And I was just like, listen, I want this shirt, I want it to be there, like I want it to look dope. Went there, booked it, because I had a few connections as well, and just kind of got it.
Do you get abused for like having black in the title of your show?
All the time, all the
How
time.
do you deal with that?
All the time, Facebook, DMs. Probably, maybe.
Why do you hold racist events?
Huh? You know, it's so funny. Like, literally,
I like that question.
I'm getting like literally probably up to 50 messages a week.
Wow.
Wow, really?
Yeah, from all different mediums.
I don't want you N-word to make any money. How dare
our Facebook, I've had to ban so many people from our Facebook page.
Really?
I'm just like, that's not
It's
hard.
fucked towards
You know what? It's time consuming. I might just stop doing it because it's just long. But it's just people messaging saying, "When's the white business show?" I'm just like,
But when is it?
"When's the Asian business show?" That's
as soon as
that's
someone sets it up.
When people
I'm not-
ask
to be
me
fair-
stupid questions, I feel obliged to give them stupid answers. If I was in your shoes, I'd be like, it was last week, did you miss it? What is wrong with you? You know what, I'll DM you next time it comes
To be
out.
fair, I've taken myself. To be fair, people argue on the page, so I don't really have to. So other people will come and say, "What are you talking about? The business show at the Excel is basically a white show." And then people are just saying, "Yeah, listen, let us have our space. You don't have to go. Do you know what I mean? Why are you here? Why are you on this page?"
Why do you reckon it's important to demark? Because if you think about it, if you put a business show on and you invited your network, it would be the black business show invited directly, wouldn't it? Why does it need to be a specifically one?
For the black business show, because black businesses and black professionals are underrepresented in business. So just like there's women in technology, why is that? That's because women are underrepresented.
So
Look at me.
Nabila produces a women in tech.
Women in leadership.
Women in leadership.
Some sexist sideshow that happens in Melbourne.
But yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like, because women are underrepresented in tech, so we're doing it for black people who are underrepresented in business. Whether it's professionals, entrepreneurs, we're creating a space where you can come and connect with businesses. You can buy from black-owned businesses. You can find, so this year over 100 exhibitors from across the UK and also Europe, so Germany, Amsterdam, as well as come and be inspired by some of the leading black entrepreneurs in the community. So yeah, that's our idea: inspire and connect. So inspiration from like talks. So we've got a lady called Kubi Springer, who's been doing it the last 3 years, and she's done like brand marketing for Diddy, Justin Timberlake, Rolls Royce.
Amazing.
And she's actually launching her first book at the show this year.
That's a dope as well.
Because her publishers told her, listen, that's the only place you need to do it.
Mm.
So yeah, I think I've gone off topic.
No, it's
No,
good,
no,
man.
no.
Is it sustainable though? Because the way I look at it is that we're such a minority in this country, and like, I've spent a lot of time in Atlanta, and Atlanta's like the mecca for black business.
Okay.
I think because there's big infrastructure. But I think if you're doing it here, aren't you scraping about? I'm just asking. I don't know.
This isn't the first time we've been asked that question, but
Yeah.
we've literally doubled year on year. So it's like, it is sustainable.
Okay.
There are so many black businesses out there that people just don't know about.
Okay.
So it's like, now we're just giving them somewhere just to congregate and just to exhibit.
I think first year, so we booked the space. We was just like, oh, let me just get it done before someone else thinks of it, because you know everyone's thinking of an idea at the same time. Got it done. I had the right connection in place. Booked a space for 25 stands. That year we got 300 inquiries. So already then I was thinking like, damn, we've already missed out. Next year booked a bigger space. We got 57. This time from the UK and Europe, sold out again. This year we've already got more than 60 booked. We're probably gonna have 100. So it's going year on year, and it's, even though it's in London, we're getting exhibitors from Manchester, Cardiff, Wales, Liverpool, France, Germany. Like the ticket sales are coming from all over the place, and that's without a full proper marketing plan, like a proper UK marketing plan. So I mean, when we get to the stage where we can fully invest in a marketing strategy all across the UK, it'll be crazy.
I just got really scared for you guys, you know. No, we just had a little chill.
Why?
You man have Malcolm X in that area. This is the last bastion. Once we figured this black economics out, we're gone.
It's needed, man.
It's a lot of pressure though. Do you feel the pressure, or are you just doing your thing?
To be fair,
That's a very high pitch, man.
you know, my wife always say when I do high pitch, I'm lying. So I was gonna say no, but yeah, a bit.
Your wife knows you're incredibly well, bro.
But yeah, you know what? I like pressure as well. At the same time, it kind of keeps me to be able to want to make the show even bigger and bigger. So this year we're gonna have 2,000 attendees, and next year I'm just thinking, how can I make it better? Last year the feedback was amazing, and I sat down with the team. It's like, listen, how can we even get better? What can we do better? But you have to think, you know, of.
Has anyone read Martin Luther King's last speeches in the last year of his year?
No.
Go and check them out. He starts talking about economics, and he started
It's not a good omen.
He started asking the business, black people to boycott certain businesses, like a bus firm or Orange Soda thing. Oh, what was the other one? And black people did. So I'm not saying that's linked to his death, but bloody hell. Chill for you, like literally anyone that clocks something on black economics.
Starts unpacking it.
Yeah. And what sort of people are like exhibiting with you? Is it like shop?
Anything you can think of, really. Fashion,
Like,
fashion, food,
Tech.
yeah, just any industry you can think of probably exhibited.
We had one guy last year. He's created a keyboard, English keyboard, where you type and it translates straight into Tweet. Into Tweet, and then he's got another one. You type English, translates straight into Yoruba. So he's created that himself, and no one knows these things exist.
When you drop stuff like that, then in my head I could compute and be like, oh, so that's why you're doing it.
It's crazy, and like literally like law firms, banks, like Jamaica National Bank was there last year, as well as we've got the charity, so NHS and also prostate cancer, they exhibit because I think it's 1 in 4 black men get prostate, and then the sickle cell as well. I think it's 1% give blood in the UK.
Men don't like anything near their prostate, bro. Just like,
I know,
but I mean, what do you mean? What's the risk?
That's what I'm saying. We're scared of like to find out the truth. But I mean, even with the NHS, they said to us last year, thank you so much. This is the show throughout the year that we've had the most sign-ups, which for us is just that reason enough is for us to continue. Because if we're potentially like saving lives. You know what I mean? It's amazing.
And how much
You're both married. Sorry, you're both married. Right?
Yeah.
Right, cool. So no Jezebel can come in.
No.
So, and I'm not saying it in that way. I just don't want anyone to send anyone that. I'm just worried about the Martin Luther.
No, this
I'm
He's
what you said. No, what you said.
You was cool until you put it over there.
No, because I said the word Jezebel and like I need
so
to
we
stop.
thought they might be. Yeah.
No, because I don't want women to think that I'm saying some negative thing. But I'm saying Jezebel from the Bible, the connotation that she set man up and Samson ended up cutting his hair off. Or was that Delilah? It was Delilah.
This sounds complicated.
But I was saying, yeah, how much is it to exhibit?
Yeah, bro.
Oh,
How much piece, cuz?
Yeah, there are different packages.
Okay. And that's for the salesman.
Listen, if you want to find out more, just send us an email.
He gave it the clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are different packages. So
We should go and do a podcast live.
Yeah.
That's
I think that's a great idea.
that sounds like a great plan. Now.
You know, a few people have said, listen, yeah,
No,
we had
you said it
some
first,
idea. But no, we're definitely looking at podcasts like to see what we can do. So yeah.
So you guys are married. What's going on? What's the situation at home? How many kids do you guys have? You guys are quite young though. You feel young to me. You feel like fresh and energetic to me. Future leaders.
Alright.
Early 30s? Late 20s?
29.
29?
Yeah.
These are babies, man.
No,
That's so good if you've got 4 or 5 times over.
We don't talk about it.
we never disclose our age.
Okay.
I'm 84.
Yeah. So how many kids? Everyone's just like, hands up.
Yeah, I've got one, 60 month.
Oh, congrats.
We were just cussing somebody out for using 16 months.
Yes.
Because it's like, bro, just say 1.5, bro. Increments of 6 months.
You know why I do that is because my missus always used to take the 1 month pictures, the 2 months, 3 months. So I think that's just in my head.
You're gonna be doing math, bro. It's like it's a 12, 4 surplus, so just under 1.5. Cool.
What about yourself?
I've got a daughter. I've got one on the way as well.
Hey, it still works.
How old's your daughter?
My daughter's 10.
10?
Holy shit, bro.
Yeah, big guy.
10? What's it like having a 10-year-old, bro? Do you listen to the
Great,
same
man.
albums?
Not yet. We are doing the same dance moves though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing the same dance moves at the moment. But yeah, it's great. Like she's quite independent. She knows what she likes. So it's like communication is great.
How do you feel she's gonna react when the new one comes?
I don't know, you know. I've thought about that, but I thought because she's now like developing her own sense of self, it's not going to affect her too much because she also likes her space as well. So hopefully it doesn't impact her too much, but I don't know until the new one gets here, to be honest.
Can I ask you guys something? So in your opinion, is black segregation a good thing? Is going back into a time where we had our businesses in our corners, we worked for ourselves, we worked in our own communities, a good thing? Would you want to go back to that?
I don't think we're going back to it, to be honest. I just think we're making the best out of it. Because when people message us about the UK Black Business Show, we do get I do get communication from black people as well, like, oh, do you think it's a good idea that we're doing this? Or we're cutting ourselves off? But it's like, if you look at the way we've progressed over time, we've literally had to force our way to where we are now, which a lot of people will be like, well, it's not the best position anyway. So for me personally, I feel like, listen, we got to make the best out of ourselves in our community with amongst each other, and then the diversity is great and being a part of a lot of things is great as well, but we should be focusing on ourselves and try to get ourselves up to a level and then take it from there, to be honest.
I think for me, like I've read a few things, I think it's 0.3% of the top 500 companies are black CEOs. That's like ridiculously small. So for me it's about, listen, if we can start our own businesses and be the CEOs, we can change things like that. We could have the next big company in the top 500 companies, So I think that's why it's important. There's a phrase, if you can't go through a door, if you can't go through the door, build it or something. Do you know what I mean? So that's what we're trying to kind of create here. A space where people are building their own businesses, where they're like, they could be a startup, they could be, been going for a while, but just creating that space and also inspiring entrepreneurs. It's not just for the entrepreneurs. Well, yeah, inspiring entrepreneurs, but also the professionals as well. So those who have corporate jobs as well, coming to be able to network with other corporate professionals, etc.
The biggest charge that we get, obviously, we get the same questions. I'm only antagonizing because we get the same questions, but I think people quite often ask us, like, why do you need to be black dads? Why can't we all be all dads? We're all dads, we're all trying, all that kind of thing. And I think in terms of, like, if you're pro-segregation, then having a black business show makes sense, because what you want to do is build a space where all the things that are essential to your community can be bought from black people, and then that makes the economy last longer. But if you're trying to integrate, I think in this particular time, there's something that is making people feel uncomfortable about calling out blackness directly, and it doesn't then promote integration. Like we are reserving our safe spaces for black fathers, so that's never going to change. So we don't need permission for anybody else to do it. Where it's almost like if you're promoting integrated businesses, and people are still slightly uncomfortable, how do you toe that divide or that line? Do you not care?
Yeah, to be fair, we have everyone that comes to our show, black people. We have white people come to our show, we have Asian people, and they just want to kind of see some of the amazing black businesses there are out there as well. We hold it in Black History Month as well, to kind of be a showcase. So, yeah, for us, I keep on going off the question. He's talking about segregation and...
Just is it a real, like, is there something to be concerned about? Is there better communication that we need to do to make sure? Yeah, because I'll tell you this, from my point of view, I think you need specifically black-owned spaces and things, because our community is so far behind in developing itself. If we don't have things that are beacons, we're going to keep running around just lost and being consumers. But at the same time, whenever I've created anything that's specifically a black entity, then it's like, just the constant stream of just like fear of like, what are you guys doing and what does that mean? It kind of puts a barrier between your ability to integrate. It's like, yes, some very liberal, innovative, or just clearly business-minded white people or non-black people will turn up because they're like, there's something here, I want to see what I need to invest in. But on a whole, saying to those people that yes, we're going to now integrate you into just a business that can stand on the high street, it sounds like there's a barrier between the abilities to do that.
I don't have a problem with integration, but I feel like black people are the only they're the only ones concerned with how it comes off when we label something.
Why do you reckon that is?
Because, for example, I got off at Leicester Station.
Leicester Square, the tube station. There's a
sign there pointing me in the direction of Chinatown. I don't see anyone else talking about, what's Chinatown?
Well, China's a country though, so it's like...
No, but this is what I'm saying, but there are areas specifically for certain people that exist all over the country.
So if you called it the Africa Business Show, do you reckon you'll get half the responses than you would?
No, probably not. I think we'll still get a decent amount of love. But I feel like in terms of when we was researching what is out there, and what shows currently exist, there's so many shows that are specifically aimed at a certain demographic. And even though they get stick for it, whether it's women in leadership, women in tech, I don't know, gay pride, or gay events for people with a certain sexual orientation, they can label that event or that show however they want. And they do it because it is aimed for a certain group. So we can do that too. Why not?
I agree with you. I just think there's a reason why anything black is highly politicized, and you can't just say something's black without it being immediately attacked. Whereas if you Chinatown or if you want to do like the amount of mosques that's around, like yes they get trending topics every now and again, and people think that they're being like turned into mini. But like I don't feel like the word black is as controversial, is more controversial than any other framing of anyone else's experience.
Is it not just fear?
What are they scared of?
Fear of a black
Because-
planet.
But like having a Chinatown is the norm, or like having like an Asian BBC network, let's just say, is a norm. Like we haven't had a black anything.
Yeah.
It's always covered with a name. Like when we had going with the radio shows, when we had Choice FM, it wasn't black radio station. It was Choice FM. So it was sugar coated with a different word, so anyone could listen to.
You're saying even the BBC Asian network, our counterpart was One Extra.
Which was sugar coated.
And when they actually first used to say it was black station, black music, then it changed to urban, and I don't know what.
No, it
the
doesn't
fuck
even say
is.
anything.
Yeah.
But they're friends of ours, so let's be kind.
Invite you back on there at some point.
Yeah, I know. But wasn't someone said there was a story behind why that happened? It was like they couldn't fund it on its own. It needed to be connected to Radio 1 somehow to survive or something like that.
Still though.
I don't know if there's any other examples of black industries where they're like specifically black and it's
Do you
okay.
think white people wake up and just, black?
No, but I think they wake up from their really soft pillow and then they go down the street and they're like, oh, there's a black thing going on. What's happening? Who's allowed this? Who's giving them a grant? And
Do you think they think it's because they think we should be integrated in white culture? Because
No, I don't think they're concerned about our integration at all.
Really?
No.
Because
So then why do they keep coming out?
When we come out and talk about race, it's something that they haven't had to. Well, living in this country, you're not really. If you're white, you're not really concerned about your race. That's one of the last things you're concerned about. So then, when you hear someone talking about their race, all of a sudden, and especially in a terms where we feel that we're hard done by because of our race, they're on the back foot, or they're now automatically in defensive mode thinking, well, I'm white and I don't treat black people like that, but you're acting as if white people treat black people bad. But because race hasn't really been
because they haven't had that experience.
They haven't had that experience, it hasn't dawned on them and nothing.
No, it's going to be a really interesting documentary in
Right,
about
wow.
3 weeks on BBC One called The Unwanted, and it's about the Windrush, the hostile environment. Need to watch that because it actually plants the history of everything we're kind of talking about, contextualises it. But it's not just you actually see it was the Labour government as well as the Conservative government, and I think that leads on to your point. It's it's a lot more detailed and layered than we think it is.
It goes so deep, and that people don't really think about it. People don't really want to, I don't know, face it and challenge it. So, I mean, people would like us. I mean, I'm certain white people out there would love for us to integrate and want us to have all the opportunities and not have our race hold us back. But there's a lot of people that just doesn't concern them. And once you leave London, you won't come across those people concerned with integration because they barely see people that they have to integrate with.
So what if someone said to you, okay, why don't you just go and do it in Africa? Why don't you go to an African country and do it? What would be your answer to that?
I was like, what?
I live in
London.
London.
I was born here, I live here, so this is what I'm going to do. There's black people in London.
That's just a really covert, clever way of saying, go back to Africa.
No, because that would be what I imagine some, I haven't been privy to your messages, but some people might say, because that's what people say, go back to where you came from.
Yeah.
I'm from here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what
I
I'm
was
saying.
born in Hackney.
I was wondering, and this goes to you guys as well actually. So if you was in charge of the whole diaspora on a 4-year term,
Wow.
presidential style, what would be your first point of call?
So I've got a business answer for this one.
I'm afraid to get on.
It's a business answer. You must spend every money, your pound has to go to another black person first before it can go out. And then whatever change you get back from that can go to another race. But your first pound should go to another black person in business. Like, just do business. You have to spend black for the first purchase.
Yeah,
And
but can
whatever
you
change-
survive off of that though?
We'll have to.
Do you do that now though, Darwin? Do you honestly do that now?
I'm not gonna lie, and I'll say this, and that, I don't like the way the Asian community are taking advantage of the black hair products. I do not buy black products from Asian people. Like, I think they're taking absolute piss. and they've monopolised it so that black people can't get in. But
Are you talking about packs? You can say
packs and all of those shops and that. But I think it's so indicative of us as a people that we're not even the cashiers when it comes to our own hair.
Do you know what's
Like,
even
that's
wilder?
mad. Do you understand the sickness and mental imbalance of that?
Because I went to PAX and I sat there and I literally was like, I genuinely opened my own store because this is upsetting me. I went in and I was asking the guy about beard oil. He had no idea. He didn't have any bit of information to share with me. And the way they categorized products was just like in a horrible way. There's like 1,000 different lines. And I'm trying to find one simple thing. I was like, what about this one? And he goes, well, I don't know.
You know, on a Sunday in Ridley Market in Dalston, the market's not there. The guy's got like a Bentley and he parked it right outside with the PAX registration. And I goes, you're taking an absolute fucking piss out of my people. Like, you've earned this amount of money and you're flaunting your wealth.
Your Bentley in Dalston Market?
Yeah, like, no.
That was wild.
Yeah,
Are there any hair? Do you come across any organisations which do products?
Hair and beauty products.
They're popular. There's loads. Like you said, it's a popular field for the African Caribbean market. But yeah, we have like.
So what actual products, not services? Because the service industry part of the black hair culture, so barbershops, hairdressers, we're good for that. But even the nails, we don't own that bit. Like, it's another culture supplying us. But then the product where the real money's at is not controlled by us.
Yeah, no, we have people who are actually making their own products. They're sourcing it. They're going out to different countries to try and get it. So yeah, that's what we've got. We're speaking to like different brands. So there's a few big hair brands. Once they hear it's the UK Black Business Show, they don't want to. They was interested, but when we sent the media pack and it's like black-owned businesses exhibit. We're not saying you can't exhibit. You've got to sponsor. You've got to sponsor something.
No, I think
you've got to sponsor something.
It's not for me to, but I think that you should keep it as a safe space and not let other things, because like literally. We're being taken.
For me, if Palmer's want to sponsor the hair and beauty section, that's cool. We're still going to have all black-owned businesses on the hair and beauty panel. And for us, it's also about getting revenue as well to be able to support these businesses as well and to grow year on year. So we're not saying we're going to get to a place where you're going to come and half the place is going to be. Always majority is well, it is, isn't it? Everyone's black-owned.
But that's what my point to you, the limitations of. You're already opening it up to say Palmer's, for example, because they're going to come through and sponsor something. Now they're in the building. The sponsors, where the large amount of money is from existing business, the existing businesses are probably not owned by black people. So then it already changes the concept, and it's like it's quite difficult to toe that line. I face this right now. We're saying dope black dads, and then platforms come to us and be like, yeah, we wanted to do something. And I'm like, the stuff we talk about, I don't think you can digest it on your very sanitized platform. So how is that going to work? Do I have to like alter my truth, or are you gonna allow things to happen? And so it's like it's always a compromise. So I'm saying, how do we make these ideas future proof? What I don't want to happen. Because I think I've built things before, they get to a certain point and then they hit a limitation because of how they were designed. So is it just, yes, we're a black business show, we're the black in the business show, we champion black businesses, we give them some spaces, we sponsor some people, it's very difficult. Does it work in 10 years' time when you now get businesses actually being successful? Does it still work? Because now they're huge and they're like, oh no, but our customer base is like everybody, so we're not going to these black things. Which is what ultimately also happens. People abandon the idea of what made it okay because they're like, I need scale now. I've got investment. Someone gave me 500 grand. I've now got to sell 2 million units. If I don't sell 2 million units, I don't exist as a business, or they want their money back. So I can't just sit there and look at black. I have to now figure out everybody. So there's been some black hair products that have like notoriously been famous in the black community, who have got their first ever ad campaign, and it's like there's some blonde women in there, and then the women are like furious, but like, I know, and I'm talking about even me on a personal level. If I give you money and you're telling me you're going to one part of the community and that part of the community isn't coming, I'm like, bro, you better get I want my money back. And commerce drives all of these decisions. So having somebody that's built a black business 4 times now, like I'm very aware that it has limitations. That's why. So I'm not even. It's not even really a business. It's just something we do. But for me, I'm putting that in your head because I feel like there could be a mind to how do you evolve it and rebrand it as you evolve. Because if you become a huge show, just for business, like new businesses, full stop. Anyone that's under 25, you become an under 25 business. And then it's like anyone that's got a new business idea, we're going to put you on our show and give you the tools and framework to be successul.
To be fair, yeah, that's what it does anyway. We get a lot of startups as well who they want to launch at the show, who they want to scale up, they want to start meeting the right people as well. And then we also speak to a few investors as well. So we speak to VCs who want to also come on the day and speak to business. I spoke to someone yesterday who wants to come and just invest in a black business at the business show. She says she's going to pick 2 businesses. So yeah, that's what we're getting. We it's new businesses every year. For me, I can't believe how many different businesses, it's not the same business reaching out each year. There's loads of different inquiries. So I feel like someone's always going to start a new business. Like it's always going to happen. And from what I was saying, we haven't even tapped into. To be fair, we've got a bit of marketing knowledge to reach people in the UK, but if we was to do a ridiculous UK marketing campaign, then we would literally, I think, triple. Yeah.
Do you have any like allegiances with anything happening in the States? Because I always think they're a good barometer, good to learn from. Because I think it's probably easier to do things there because they have a wider set of consumers.
At the moment, but definitely as we progress, that is something. Definitely.
Can you ask me a question about being leaders of the black? I genuinely want to know what you would do as the leader, the king of Wakanda.
Oh,
what would your strategy be to unite? I'll give you more context. So basically, we put this idea in the group, the question in the group, and the thinking was, it's like we have all these wonderful ideas about how to improve our experience, but actually, if we were at the helm, in front of all the people, I think there's like just under 2 billion black people on the planet. It's like, what's our message? Forget even like, what would you do? What is your message to those people now that they're actually listening to you? They're Obama-ing you and staring at you like, what happens now?
So from now on, you pronounce it plantain.
Oh my God.
And then it's done.
Oh my God.
Aren't you with me?
I'm definitely starting with education though.
Yeah, because education had to say planting.
Black history education, I'm definitely going to start with that.
Why that one? What's important?
I feel a lot of people in this country, they don't really have a sense of identity when it comes to just being black, your ties with Africa, how we existed before slavery. Get
Kings
that
before slaves.
Get that pride in, get that knowledge in, and then I think we can build up for that. I haven't really thought about anything else though, but
pressure, I'm gonna come back to you.
For me, I like Michael's answer, but for me it's like it's all good on knowing your history, but for me I want to equip you with business knowledge. I want to create entrepreneurs so we can start making wealth. So I'll be thinking about some of the banks that we see, creating black-owned banks, education, unis, all of that. I think you get those spaces. For example, like a lot of the private schools, as you can see, like sometimes you see a lot of stars and they all know each other. That's because they all went to private school together. So I want us to start creating those spaces. And when those people, when they go private school and they're like, oh, I need this. Oh yeah, my mate in private school, now he's this, now he's that. It's not a coincidence, it's just that they're all sent to the best, you know what I mean? So for me it's about, creating just those educational platforms that black people can get into.
What would you do?
You me? I think education, history. I think there's something about seeing each other.
Yeah.
I don't like how we see each other. Like I try to break men down all the time when I see them by saying hello to them, and I see them consciously like, oh yeah, you're right, come on, you're right, yeah, safe. And
It works every time.
Yeah, you can see the warmth is there, but it's like until you break that down, you just get nothing. You just get the sterile looks. It's all kind of like apprehensive.
Maybe like a national head nod day.
Yeah, I'm down for that. That everyone just do it because we do it anyway.
We do it anyway.
But only when you're in certain places and you're like, you're here, cool, bro.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I see you. But like, it should just be like when I see someone, you should be like, I think we've lost that brotherhood connection, because in my mum's era, talking 70s, 80s, they used to, everyone knew each other. Your parents knew that parents' parents, and I knew you, and we would always connect and have a good time. Like, you was accountable to your community. I think that's been lost. Like, you see another black person now, you just see, you either see enemy, you see an opportunity, you just see something. You don't see love, you don't see like, right, actually, how are you doing, bro? And I don't think we're united in that way. So I think education, something about how we see each other, and for me, I think everyone should visit Africa, a place in Africa, like wherever's closest to you, or do your DNA result, find out where it is and go back. Because my time in South Africa was way too emotional. Even every time I think about it, I'm like, I need to go back. It was too rich. There was so much pride. Gambia was amazing. Everyone thought I was from Senegal. I was like, bruv, come on, Nigeria. But like, I think that would be really important, because I think when you go back and you see the pride, the infrastructure, you see there is money there, you see the people there, you're like, this makes sense to me. There's a frequency as soon as you land that makes sense. Like, I got back to Jamaica and I was like, my skin moves, I feels different, and like everything my body operates differently. I think I just feel better. And so I'd always advocate to go home and spend time there and ultimately invest, to be honest.
Okay, and you, Lawrence?
I'm on the same kind of thinking. Education. Education is key, and empowerment. You know, just looking at what Rihanna's done with Fenty, I think I rate her. I'm just like, you know, there's something in the group, but she's gone from endorsing other people's brands to actually owning hers, and I think that sort of empowerment to do that. Because remember, she was just a singer from Barbados, and she's a business owner. So like, and I think that comes from empowerment. So I'm with that, and education. And these things, it's controversial, but these things about black schools. But I look at like Morehouse and Spelman, and I think they were there for necessity, because blacks couldn't study anywhere else. But if you look at how things have changed, but they're still as relevant today and important. That's what you were saying on your point about, that's where all the networks come from. It's about providing a network. And I think black independent schools and unis can still exist again alongside other ones, but I think they are important.
But could we do that here though? Do we have a problem with scale here?
Do you know what, I think it's scale, and I think SOAS kind of does it. Kind of does it with SOAS. But I do think it's about scale and numbers, because, you know, those unis, like, they're packing in the students. But if you were to have a specifically black university, you probably wouldn't get the numbers to survive. Because everyone's too integrated. They're like, well, I'll go somewhere else and do it.
Your raves aren't as good as my raves.
Exactly.
You know, I don't think we need like a university or school. We just need like even if it's a Saturday school or Sunday school or something. One day a week.
Like and make it compulsory for certain ages.
We were talking about like almost a finishing school. So like you do all of that, and then you're part of this finishing school where on weekends you basically build up your accreditation to understand the history. Like there's a certain code of conduct of how to be a leader. And at the end of it, it's almost like there's an alumni of just like great people that you can then reconnect with and say like, right, I know you understand because you've been through the process. It's almost like how it is in therapy. When you meet someone that's been in therapy, like, I know you've been in therapy. The language you're using is therapy.com. I can talk to you properly rather than going through this.
I call it medicine language.
Yeah. The healing language that you just have, and it's like, there's a big difference. So I feel like that could be really important to kind of earmark what does that process look like, and make sure that people are going through it when they're leaving education, and that sets them up for work. Because I think my thing is that I was quite lucky when I finished work. I was very ambitious, and I went to a charity and I basically wrote this deck about how I'm going to be their marketing manager, and the guy just looked at me and he gave me the job, but he's looking at me like, who the hell are you? Like, where have you come from? So I'm sitting at 23 behind my big desk, like, this is my office with my 2 55 plus employees, like they're like old and confused as hell, thinking, why are you my manager? And like, I just had no, listen, one of them wasn't particularly very well mentally, and one was like a retired older lady who looked like she just
Check that.
you know that person in school that just not hates your existence, but just like doesn't understand why you're in her class. Like, why are you in my class? That's the energy she had, but she like, it was across the road from her house, so she just worked there for convenience. So these two were working for me, and I just remember being in that job and just thinking, I don't really know what I'm doing. I wish somebody was here to guide me through. There's a process to take me from where I left uni to then execute this job at a really high level. Like I literally was just holding on the whole time. Like, I have a clue. But I think that process could really help a lot of people. And if it's run by people like us, if I'm 19, I feel differently about that education than I do by going into another university who is just, again, trying to cram people in to hit their quotas and get their funding in. But they don't, you know, they don't care. It's not a curated space for people like that. So they get lost in the system and they end up, like there was the woman we was talking to, she was saying that there's a lot of people that were, I don't want to be at where she's from, but she was telling us that there's a lot of black boys that come to the university and they get lost. So they don't have money, so they end up doing crime or doing fraud and then like leaving the facility. And so she was like, how do we engage them and keep them there? And I was that we wrapped our brains on it, and like that's kind of what we came up with, is we need a process to keep them engaged, because they're not doing crime because they have nothing else better to do or because they're idiots. It's because they do not believe that this process is going to give them an outcome at the end. If you have no faith, you have no fear. So you're just going to do whatever it takes. You're like, oh, what's the consequence of this? To be poorer than I was growing up? Like, I don't care about that.
The stakes are there. It's nothing to lose.
Cool. That was it. That was my big question. That's what I wanted to know. I wanted to unpack. Do you, actually, hold on, wait. We got two women here. If you're gonna lead the diaspora, what are we doing? Where are we going? Pressure.
This is politics now. You don't have to like make men do certain things or make it gender based.
Yeah, and we're gonna have all men castrated. So
no, I was actually gonna say women empowerment, and I'm not like a feminist or anything, but I just think I think it's really important for women to know that there's more to life than just, you know, getting married. Like we were taught, well, me personally, we were taught to, you know, you get married and you have a husband and this and that, and that's all good and great. Like I'm a wife, like I'm happy that I was taught that, but I think there's a lot more that I wasn't taught at a younger age, but now working with like leaders and CEOs and stuff, I'm seeing it now, but I think 26 is too late to see that. I should have seen this a lot younger, and then I could have probably aspired, not that it's too late, but I could have aspired to more a lot younger, worked my way up at a younger age.
So educate
from a younger age to know that there's more to life than just being a wife and being a mother and stuff. Yeah.
What culture is this, by the way? You're from...
I'm from Zanzibar, Tanzania. So yeah, Muslim, African, Arab culture mix.
I'll be very kind about how I say that. They just said like three things that definitely they have a very clear identity about how things work.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of, I don't want to generalise, don't speak to all.
You can speak from your personal experience.
But I think, you know, getting married and having kids and being a wife and being a mum is something you're taught from a young age. You do certain things for your husband and that's why you do it and this and that, but you're never really taught, you know, go out there and be a leader and be this and be that and educated in that kind of way. So I think that's what I would teach.
I actually think someone from that region in the world is going to create something in tech, and it's going to be a woman that's going to change the world. Not Zanzibar, but just like an Arab or a Muslim woman. Like I don't know why I've got this feeling.
Someone shook a chord when she was saying that.
I think it was you saying that, and maybe watching David Letterman. He interviewed Bill Gates' wife, Melinda, and she went and showed she was doing bits.
Melinda Gates is... You mean another woman?
Another woman, yeah. That Melinda Gates had sponsored.
Okay, cool. Oh, yeah. That is, it is a real thing, though. The thing is that when I sigh, it's not because I was being pedantic, but the thing is just I was asked. I mean, I'm going to House of Commons tomorrow, and basically, it's interesting. This week, I've had about 6 people ask me about the efforts of men in at home. So this conference, this report is about how much hours men put into caring in the home, and that's kids and like elderly people and just people in your family. Men don't care enough, and I think women spend 3 to 10 times more time caring than men do. And I was living with it, and I wrote a deck, and I was just thinking about it in my head. And then my friend today messaged me, and she was just like, "Have you seen this?" And then she was like saying, "Yeah, because you know, men don't make enough effort in the home, and women are still doing too much." And I was just like, she said it kinder than that, but I was like, yeah, but like, men have spent their whole life trying to be bosses and leaders, and it's not a great idea. People say like the idea of being in the workplace and being a boss and the leader and a millionaire and a billionaire is like you just do it. You just wake up and you're a man and you just do it. The amount of men that commit suicide is 75% in comparison to women. It's because of that sense of failure. We've created this massive picture of what men need to be. None of it is emotionally led. None of it is emotionally sensitive. None of it is thoughtful. None of it is kind. It's all just like, how much money are you making? What piece you got? Like, what have you got? And it's like, that makes men depressed. We don't, I think women have it right. I think they have it right. Yes, they're in a position where they've tried to do certain things and men have shut them down, and we need to rectify that. But this overarching ideology of what a woman should be doing, what a man should be doing, I think women are closer to the truth than men are. I think men went too far.
But isn't that society saying that men need to go out and work and provide, and women need to stay at home? Isn't that how we've been brought up?
Programmed, from birth.
The hard work.
Basically.
I think I saw that when you tweeted that about the taking care of elderly parents or whatnot, and then I just thought about myself personally, and I was just like, there's no point in my upbringing that you was like had to take care of someone, or you was raised to take care of someone. But then I know almost every female that I know, or every woman or girl that I know, has been trained to take care of something.
Bro, if you fell over and I tried to pick you up, someone will call me the F word. And you'd be like, bro, I was just helping you out. You're like, bro, you're so gay, man. It's like, what? That's
or
like...
if you meet a woman that can't cook. I know that's just in terms of gender. I know it's way out, but it's what we're expected to do, like what we're trained for. So when you meet a woman that can't cook, you just say, what do you mean you can't cook?
The thing is, I would say that, well, you can't cook. I can cook myself. I actually have never consciously known a woman to sit there and cook for my wife. Sit there and cook for me. It's not a part of the DNA. It's not like, oh, so what's your name? Can you cook? And then be like, oh, she's gonna come around and cook for me. I've never done that. I've been living out of my house since 18. I can do it myself.
Super modern man, because I'm not gonna lie. Like, in my young scummy days, it literally was like, if you can't, I'd have to ignore you guys. I get bullied on this podcast sometimes. But literally just, I've lost my point.
No, you said if you couldn't, in the young scummy days, if someone couldn't cook.
It used to disturb me. If a woman couldn't cook, because I was like, I can't see no future here.
No, but
she could tick every other box.
But the thing is that that's an oversimplification. But I think the idea that someone can look after themselves is always attractive. But what I'm saying is that the idea that we were measuring women by they can cook or not is insane. And for me personally, just the idea of it was like, yes, I would ask it, but I'm not really computing the answer. I'm just autopiloting what people say to women. It's like a part of the like, you can't cook, no? Ha ha ha. Like it's like a banter, but it's like, I don't care. I'll make my own food. And to be fair, I ate out for probably about 15 years of my life anyway, so it still didn't make any difference. I just think some of these ideas are definitely very basic and need updating. But I think definitely how men are being charged with, especially black men. You know, like sometimes people say like, men have oppressed us, and I'm like, my G, black men have not had the amazing time that you think we've had. I'm all for the correct charges. There's been times when black men haven't protected black women. There's times when we've been colourist against them. And we've definitely had a few issues around some grabby hands.
100%.
I'm being kind. But when we talk about structurally, you can't just say all men, because I don't know the thing you're talking about. First and foremost, because in my house, my mum run things. My mum run our whole family, like extended family. She was the centre of it all. Then my sisters and my aunts and my gran were the next layer. I don't know men strong running anything around me. That's not my understanding. So I get it in terms of a wider level outside of my home, but I struggle sometimes to be as connected to that point, because I've seen women do it. If you go to Jamaica, women run Jamaica. It's not
like
a job.
lot of Nigerian women that I know have their own businesses. They work and they've got a side hustle or two. And that and I've watched growing up, just watching women do some amazing things, and then looking at men going, you man are lazy. Like I don't know any lazy women. I think of a lazy woman that you know in your head.
None. They're all
like it's amazing.
working.
Think of lazy guys you know.
I know a lot of them.
Do you understand
corners.
that? Like, it's unfair.
Yeah,
But
so-
how do we get that balance? Because we've talked about it in previous podcasts before. Like, there's a time when my wife was earning more than me, and I was just thinking back then. Was I uncomfortable? And at the time, I was like, oh, it's okay. But talking about it now, I was like, I wonder what other people thought, what her mum thought. And then for a period, she was. And then this thing about sharing the roles, about childcare and all that. What is the silver bullet?
To be honest, I don't know, man.
No.
I don't know. Well, I did watch something where basically parenting and stuff like that really pushes women back in terms of like work and progression.
Yeah.
So that obviously men, they're just seen as workhorses. We don't take any time out to have children or to raise them in particular as well. But it's like there's certain things, the way the society is set up, it's just like, because I've got a baby on the way, I'm talking to one of my managers about paternity, and I'm like, 2 weeks? What the hell?
Yeah.
You can take the.
Would
you take the 6 months? Would you take the shared 6 months?
Yeah, I would.
Would you?
I would.
But
But at the same time,
your missus has to go
then
back to
my missus has to go back to work,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, the way I'm raised, I'm like, nah, she's more important to me at this stage.
Exactly.
So I think
So
she
this is the
needs
thing, we're
this
talking
time.
about equality, but I would have taken the 6 months.
This is what I'm
No
saying.
way.
Could you imagine that? Babe, go back to work now. You look
Yeah,
good.
that's right, that's what I'm
I'll
gonna
stay
say.
here. I've got this.
No way.
So
No way.
It's an impractical solution.
Yeah.
I think the kind of the ability to balance it. So it depends. If your wife is earning more and you need the money in your house.
I know people who've done that, who the
Yeah.
wives are the big earners,
yeah.
and the dads are
I did that
and the dads are staying. So you
for my
stayed.
older son.
Yeah.
Okay.
How was that?
Great. I think that's why me and my son are so super close now.
Yeah.
Because as soon as he could go on the bottle, she went back to work.
Yeah.
And and I was a postman at the time, so I was earning
I
a
remember that
decent
stage.
wage.
Yeah.
And I quit that, and
So you actually quit your job?
yeah.
Wow.
Okay. See, I don't know a lot of guys that would do that.
And how did that make
only
you?
know guys like this. This is why I think I'm.
Yeah.
I'm the
Did you
worst
feel
case
judged
study.
by other guys?
To be honest, I didn't care.
Yeah. No. I know.
You know
I know
what?
you're a strong
even-
character.
It weren't even a strong character. I just didn't. I didn't even recognize it to care.
Yeah.
Like, I remember one time we went out and she paid for the dinner and whatnot, and I felt like, and then after that I was like, belly's full. I'm full. But apart from that,
when we were dating, when I was dating Natalie, I wouldn't like. I'd say
I've
this one's on you.
actually got a T-shirt that I found the other day that I remember we was driving and I saw it in the shop window, and we pulled over and she paid for it.
Wow.
And I think Kaz was about 8-9 months, and I wear that T-shirt with pride because I know the story behind it. Like, I didn't pay
I've
for
never
this.
ever had that before. Unless it's a direct gift, I've never had someone. I literally has never happened. I'm gonna put my wallets away and say, what's going on, Lins? You earn.
Even with my missus, so my missus works for JP Morgan.
Nice.
You put it in there, bro. It's cool, bro.
There's but listen, there's no way I can reach
she earn
her.
more?
Yeah, so my missus earns more than me.
Okay.
The only way I'm reaching her is through my stuff outside of work as well with my businesses. Because I think she come back from a maternity leave for no reason, just got 7-8K rise, and that's just for
That's
working.
for a reason.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, she works hard as well. She's been there since she's come out of uni. But I'm saying certain companies, but at the same time, we're good. I know I'm not making small money.
Yeah.
She's doing really well, and I'm happy for her as well. But that doesn't
Are you
change.
a little bit insecure like that? There's just like, you're hanging over at the bank. Who's that guy? He's a head
I'm
of what?
not, no, you know, not even, because I make enough.
Your voice went high. We'll do that again. Not even, bro. Not even.
How much can we edit out?
You give it too much info to you guys. No, but yeah, for me, I'm still doing really well.
Yeah.
She's doing amazing, which I'm happy for her. But that doesn't change my roles in the house. That doesn't change her roles in the house.
I was gonna say something. Let me shut up.
You know what I mean? Most of the time, I'm still taking her out,
Yeah.
treating her. Yeah.
Do you combine all your income?
Yeah.
So this is another thing, a good question. Like, so when we got married, we first went to premarital counselling because I had a problem with this, and I was like, we put all the our earnings in the pot for the mortgage, whatever, and then we have our own money. That soon changed. So now, because I was on this thing that I don't know, maybe the way we were brought up, I was like, bills are paid, I have my money, you have your money.
Yeah.
But now everything just goes into one pot.
Do you find that the money disappears more? Like, I don't know where my money goes.
Do you know what? It's so funny. I was speaking to someone, they're like, why are you concerned? And it's because of what I was brought up. I was like, well, this is fine, my parents did it. And nah, do you know what? We don't even think about money. I'm just like, as long as I've got what I need, and the bills, it doesn't cross my mind. It literally is like.
Me out though. I don't know how much money I have. I genuinely have no idea. I don't know. It's just like it just keeps happening. It's like
you get paid. And I don't know if that's a bad thing, but it's like that has to be paid, and whatever's there is there. I don't really.
The only concern is if your wife starts creating a like runaway fund. You have no idea.
Come back, where's all the money gone? Yeah.
Because we were saying after we had our MGM and we was talking about finance, and I was like, I do have fucking money though. Like, it's like if my job's amazing by the way. Like, I was recording, but like if my job just one day decides to like tell me, you know, I've got to have some rigid, horrible working environment. It's like I have the ability to do that and last 6 months without needing to be paid again. And it's like I just can't imagine. I'm doing it now, and I was like, I know where that is. But if my general pot was just open, I don't know if I could feel comfortable. I don't know. Do you guys mix money?
You know what? You can't underestimate self-interest. Like, you can't underestimate that. Even when you get married, even when you have kids. You can't underestimate that.
I still feel like my wife is plotting now, and she's a nice I'm like, I don't know. You must have a little plot.
So me and my wife, we have our separate money. Like,
you have your separate, okay.
Yeah, she's self-employed, so she earns all of her money. And then I earn my money, and then we have a joint account.
Okay.
And then it's like, but I don't like dipping in the joint account. So then I try to cover the majority or whatever. If she needs to put in, she will. But then it's just like, now I'm getting to that point where I'm just like, I don't really care about this money.
Yeah.
But at the first,
I did.
my
back was up
against the wall. I was like, God, I need to have my money.
Yeah, that was me.
Because
That
this
was
is
me.
my money.
That was
So
me.
it is weird, but it's like, you can't underestimate your own self.
But there was that woman, that Alani woman, and she was like, my husband earns less than I realised. He told me he earns 35 and he only earns 21. And so we're trying to buy a house together, and I now don't trust him. It's like, it does really matter to a lot of people.
How did he last?
I don't know how he did that. He must have been doing great work in other places. But
So we've got some women in it. Would you date or would you accept your man earning less than you?
Yeah.
That was a real pause.
I have to think about it, but no,
Like at the moment, me and my husband, he has his money, I have my money, then we have a joint account, and we put everything we need for the month in the joint account, and whatever he wants to spend his money is on him.
What if you found out he was earning significant? The thing is, 35 to 21 is a really big difference.
Yeah.
If you take 10k off of like 95 to 85, it's like.
But I don't think the money is the problem. I think the lie,
It's a lie.
is the problem.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the money. Like, you've lied to me. That's.
I feel like I lied to you the way you're looking at me.
That's the problem. The money's not the problem. The lie. The lie is what the problem is.
Because I'm pretty sure at one point, I'm pretty sure that my missus being self-employed, she was making more than me at one point. Especially when I was studying. So I was like working part-time or whatever. So I'm pretty sure she was clearing way more than me at one point. But then it's like, I'm feeling that, you know what, I don't mind her making a lot of money. Like, I was comfortable with that. But then I remember having a conversation where she was like, if I earn more money than you, that's a bit weird. So then now I was like, I can't let this happen. can't be comfortable anymore. Like,
You're the little spoon.
Okay, so yeah, like it's just.
Because my wife looked after me for 2 years where I did squat, and so she looked after me for 2 years.
No, right.
But like that's where I knew who my wife was, and so it solidified my understanding of who she was. But at the same time, there was just times where you're just like, I'm asking permission. Like there was times like, I need money. Like, can I have 20 pounds?
Yeah,
I've got to do something.
No, that happened when I was younger.
Yeah, it just strips you. It's like,
But she was just smart. She would just go and take out certain money from the cash machine.
Yeah, my card is your card. Like those
Basically,
ones.
yeah. But she did. She, you know what? To be fair, she did everything to make sure I felt comfortable. And I didn't. So me feeling emasculated would have been my own insecurity at the time.
But still.
It is about still. It is about still. Because that's what society does to us. But
Exactly.
and I said this on a previous podcast, if you've got someone that's smarter than you in your relationship, why would your ego get in the way of letting that person fulfill their potential and earn as much as they possibly can?
Yeah, I agree with that still.
Alright, that's been it. I gotta go. I wanna get back to my family. Can't be a dog like that living at home. Thank you guys. Is there any other key messages? Where can we find you?
So Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, UKBB show, and then come to the show on October the 5th. Website www.ukblackbusinessshow.co.uk.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.